Hello and welcome to another episode of Go To Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Define Nano S from Fractal Design. We'll do a quick unboxing and just take a look at some of the different parts and features that the case has to offer. Alright, so the reason that I got the Define Nano S from Fractal Design is I wanted to use this for my HTPC. Now, some of you remember I put the Thermaltake V21, which is a great case, and I just wanted to try something a little different. And that case is actually pretty big for a Mini-ITX build. I thought this would be more appropriate. So yeah, let's just jump right in and open up the box. I ordered mine off of Amazon. Got it for about $70 US. There was some damage in shipping. And this is the windowed side panel edition. You can get this without the windowed side panel, but I'm a sucker for windowed side panels. So it's packed in typical hard foam. Protected well enough. Bag over it. Alright, so there's the case right out of the box. Oop. Try to rotate it here so you can get kind of a good look. What we got going on. Alright, so before we start taking it apart, let's just go over some of the few features that the case has to offer. So it can handle two 3.5-inch hard disk drives and two SSDs. There are two PCIe expansion slots. Supports just Mini-ITX motherboards, so no micro ATX or ATX. There are two USB 3.0s on top, and then audio up top, and reset and power button. It will support standard ATX PSUs up to 160 millimeters. Graphics card up to 315 millimeters in length. So CPU coolers up to 160 millimeters tall, so that means my Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo should fit. Let's see. So dimensions are 203 millimeters by 343 millimeters and 400 millimeters. I'll convert those all to inches later. And as far as cooling, the front can handle, let's see, 140 millimeter fan, and one is included. Or it could support 220 millimeter fans or 240 millimeter fans. The top can support 220 or 240 millimeter fans. The rear supports 120 millimeter fans, and it comes with one. And the bottom can handle another 120 millimeter fan. As far as filters, the intake has a filter up front, and there's a filtered fan slot for the power supply here on the bottom as well. So as far as water cooling, now this is a very popular case for water cooling. I've seen several YouTubers do water-cooled builds with this case. I won't be, at least immediately. Maybe in the future if I decide to update this to like the 6600K, or maybe when Kaby Lake comes out, the i5 unlocked version at that time. Maybe I'll do that then. I've never water-cooled other than the all-in-one coolers. I've never done a custom water loop. Maybe one of these days on the channel I will. But the front can support up to 240 or 280 millimeter radiators. This guy can support a 280mm radiator. That is awesome. The top can handle a 240mm radiator, and the bottom can support a 120mm radiator. Also in the back here, I suppose you could put one on the back, even though it doesn't say it's in the box. Alright, so let's take it apart here. I'm gonna have to read some instructions because I am completely new to this case. So let's just start taking off some panels here. We'll take off this back panel here. It looks like it has, ooh man, this is solid. Whew. I'm so used to kind of flimsier case, but man, that has some heft to it. It has, you'll notice there are some retainer screws for the thumb, retainer brackets for the thumb screws. That's awesome. And you'll also notice it has a nice sound dampening material on the inside. That's pretty thick. That's cool. I did not expect that. So on the back, it'll reveal there are some pre-routed cable management. So for the front headers and fans. Yeah. We will then take off the windowed side panel here. And I'm not going to take these sticker mabobs off. Yeah, that's still pretty thick. Yeah, I'm not going to take off the covering until I am completely done with the build. Again, you've got the retainer brackets for the thumb screws, so that's nice. And this reveals the inside of the case. Now, figure out how to take this front off. I should have done some homework beforehand. Yeah, it looks like it just pops off, so yeah, there we go. Okay, so the front pops off like this. The thing I really like about the front, it has this kind of, it's plastic, but it has this nice kind of, it almost looks like brushed metal, but it's brushed plastic, and it's just real muted and just really understated and looks really nice. It actually looks better in person than on the pictures, and it seems like it would resist fingerprints quite well. You'll notice that the sides have these large openings for fan intake. And I didn't know this, but there is the sound dampening material on the inside of this front cover. So that's nice. So this definitely has low noise in mind. And you'll notice here, and because the air does come in, there's no filter here, but that's okay because the filter is all right here. So you can take that off. Not quite sure how to do it. Oh, looks kind of like a door design. Okay, yeah, so you gotta take that off, and here's where we can start taking a look at the fan mounts and radiator mounts. So it comes with a box here with your accessories. So your motherboard screws, your 2.5-inch drive screws. Looks like there's a fan splitter. Comes with some cable ties. Yeah, so that's nice. Nice to have that all labeled here. And it has your instruction manual here as well. So like I mentioned earlier, there is a 140mm fan pre-installed, and as mentioned earlier, you can fit a 240 or 280mm radiator up front here, as well as one up top, a 240mm up top. So it looks like the little thing you pop on the inside here, and it just comes right off. So there's some sound dampening material on top here as well. And from the top, you can see it's got the fan mounts here and radiator mounts. Like I mentioned earlier, it can support up to 240 millimeter up top, and it can support, let's see, 240 millimeter fans or 220 millimeter fans. So you can see all the mounts for those. Alright, and let's take a look at the bottom here. We've got the feet that it stands on. It's got this kind of aluminum look, though I think it's just plastic. And then rubber here on the bottom, so enough standoff to give you air, enough airflow. And there is a very large and very gracious filter here on the bottom. Alright. Now, I believe Fractal Design had modders in mind when they designed this. So there is a reservoir or pump mount here on the bottom for water cooling, and you'll see these lines here as well that that should help with mounting your reservoirs and or pumps. You got these angled rubber grommets for access to the motherboard with your cable management. And there's also a large one down here for your power supply as well to route them in the back. Here's the PSU slot here. And here are two PCIe slots right here. They're in white. The covers are. There's two slots for your graphics card. As you see on the back here, there's already some cable management done, and it has these very nice zip ties included. And this, I believe, is the bracket for your SSD mounts. So this bracket down here is used for 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drives and reservoir mounts or pump mounts as well, so it's multi-purpose. So whatever is best for your case. And then I was looking on the back here. This is one of the mounts for the 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch drives, whatever. So really you could put 4 SSDs in here, or 2 SSDs plus 2 3.5 inch drives. So this is where I'll probably put one of my 3.5 inch drives that I have. Eventually I still need to do a RAID 1 configuration. So yeah, I think that pretty well covers everything. It's fully feature packed. I'm really excited to use this. It's, you know, real solidly built. There were a lot of considerations taken into account for water cooling and all sorts of different configurations, from silent configurations to more fans. I think I'm going to try to go for the more silent configuration. But yeah, I'm super excited to use this. I think it's a great value. I can see why it's a very popular case. Yeah. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my HTPC system that has the Core V21 case on it and put it in this case. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. You can support me using the Patreon link below, or you can support me using one of the Amazon affiliate links below as well. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.